Hey, hello again, and welcome all you slower is better types. It is me, Captain T, from the Pilot to Pilot Network. Got a beautiful summer day here in Michigan, and thought I'd go do a little flying, clear my head, get away from politics for a while, get away from life's troubles for a while. You know, no matter what's going on in life, I always feel better if I do a little flying. So, nice afternoon, couldn't not go, so I'm going. The worst day flying is better than the best day working. So the magic question around the airport continues to be, when are you going to get working on that RV? Well, confession time. I did pick a couple of quiet afternoons when there was nobody around to kind of get my feet wet again and take a look at what I could do to start on a project that somebody had already started. So I think I found a nice starting point, and it's a matter of getting my legs back. You know, Van's plans are great, and it's just a matter of me learning how to read and where to look. The manual is great. Again, a matter of me learning where to look. And I'm kind of ticking off the items that have been done as I go, and then ticking off the ones that I do as well. So come on along, take a look. We made a little progress working on the tail feathers of the RV, and it's a continuing saga, so stay tuned. There'll be lots more.
The horizontal is in place. We started out by just fitting these little tips. There's really nothing to it, but they have to be cut to tolerance. They're a little long, they got to be fitted. So if you get a nice fit job on them, they fit right up around the nose very well. And of course the front rivet is kind of a pain. There's a trick to that. We managed that just fine. The rest of them just pulled rivets, and I put one of those little aluminum washers on the back of each rivet instead of putting a metal strip in there. Now on the elevator tail here, I will put a metal strip inside of this end cap here. Put a metal strip in here for backer on the rivets. These are all fitted too, by the way. So we know the tolerances on the elevator. We know that the up travel on this side and on the other side turned out to be about 5 degrees too far. We can take that out when we adjust the linkage. The good news is that after drilling this center bearing position here through the actuator horn, those have to be match drilled. This one has to be the same as this one. And Van gives you nice guidance on that. You put a little guide bushing in there, and you get it in trail, and then you drill through, and then you take this one off and you put this one on, and you drill through the other way. Same deal. Once we got through all of that, then it was time to start balancing. And of course, Van's got these handy weights that he makes for you. They're all molded and ready to go, except they're too big, so you got to cut them down, and Van wants you to file all that off of there. That works good, I find, on the side with the trim tab. This side with the trim tab is heavier because of the trim tab box and everything. So you don't have to take as much lead off the counterweight on this side. So if you do this side first, you're going to go, whoo-hoo, this is really easy. Then you do the light side. This side here is lighter than the other side. And you got to do a ton of filing to get this down. Now I cheated a little bit. I got a coarse die grinder wheel, and I cut about a ½ inch off the end of each weight. So like this weight here has been cut off right there. It shouldn't make any difference. The front hole is in the same position. The front hole is the front hole. And that's where you would line it up. So we did all that. The supplied counterweights are cast with a relief notch in each side, and that relief notch goes on the inside of the rib. It's designed to clear the rivets that hold the rib together. So when you put it in, you put the relief side down, and then you put the relief side down on the other side and push them together, get the bolts through the middle. And you want to make sure that your bolts come through from the inside to the outside so that the nuts and the bolt ends are underneath the cap that goes over the elevator. Otherwise, you run the risk of the bolt head or the nut contacting the horizontal stabilizer and causing a binding situation. So the whole idea here is to take enough weight off so that it counterbalances neutrally, and so neither up nor down, doesn't want to go anywhere, just wants to sit. So that's what we got. I pick it up, and it's pretty neutral, no binding. You let go of it, it stays right where it was. The left side is the same, even though with the trim and stuff it's a little heavier. You just compensate with the counterweight. And there you have it, neat and tidy. It's strange how the smallest details seem to take up most of the time. Here I'm cutting 1/2-inch backer strips to put inside the end caps for the elevator, and I can't reach in there with my fingers or tools or anything and get those washers where I want them. And some of the holes are a little tight on the elevator end caps, not quite enough room to maneuver for a 1/8-inch rivet. That was not done by me, that was done by the prior owner. So I'm cutting the strips, and I hate burrs, so we're going to deburr all of these strips. There's 4 strips, 2 on each elevator end cap, and it just makes them a whole lot easier to work with. I hate aluminum cuts. So all the corners and all the ends and all the sides. And then of course they need to get roughed up. It's a bonding situation, and smooth aluminum won't bond, so rough it up. I got a Scotch-Brite here going to town. And then once you roughed it up, of course, clean it off, because all that residue on there will make for a terrible bond. So you rub it down with some solvent. Yeah, ugly stuff. And the same thing with the inside of the elevator caps. Those need to get kind of deglazed and roughed up so that you have a bonding surface there to work with. Now I'm using JB Weld. I could have used epoxy of any kind, could have used fiberglass epoxy resin. Anything else is just too thin to work with. So I like JB, and so that's what I'm going to use. Got a little defect on the end. That's pretty common on those ends. You need a pallet to work from, so we put down a pallet. Of course, your pallet's probably dirty, so put some solvent on that, clean it up. You want to work clean. If you want a good bond, you got to work clean. So we just fill in that little divot on the end there, and we'll grind that off, and it'll be just as good as new. So a little JB on the pallet and a mix, and away we go. So I clamped the backer strip in place. I'm using a big old popsicle stick here. You just spread it like butter. Just spread her in there. Make sure you get good coverage. You don't need to go too deep. There's a little flange there in the fiberglass. That's really all you want to cover. So I'm using some duck bills here. I got the backer strip about where I want it held on one end so it can't move. And then I spread the JB on the other end and add some duck bills to hold it in place. And as they say, rinse and repeat. You just go on and do the other half of this when you get this first half clamped in place. You just pull the clamps off the other end, glue it down, and that's all there is to it. The reinforcing strips are loaded on the inside and clamped in place. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but there is a reason why the strips go full length and they're glued so heavily and clamped so strongly. But the hard part is, now that it's all glued up with epoxy, the hard part is waiting for the epoxy to dry. Now I know I could have used quick dry, but I didn't happen to have any of that, and I didn't want to make a trip to the hardware, so it'll have to be what it'll have to be for now. I needed a break anyway. Just like that, it's over. Time to put the toys away for the day. We had a great trip. Thanks for coming along. We hope you enjoyed yourself. If you're having fun on the videos, please tell your friends. Punch that big red subscribe button. Punch it twice. I don't care. Punch it 3 times. Helps us out an awful lot if you punch and like and share and all of that good stuff. YouTube-isms. That's what we got to have more of, YouTube-isms. So for now, it's Captain T. We'll see you around the airport. So long.